Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and you might be a little bit confused in regards to why I'm covering JP news, but this is pretty important, so I do want to cover it. If you guys would like me to cover JP news moving forward, hit me in the comments and let me know. However, as you can see before you, there is a new Zeldris that is being released on JP. This is a Holy War Festival Zeldris. And the reason why I'm covering this is because Zeldris is a super hype unit. I love Zeldris, and I know I'm not alone. There's a ton of you guys who love him as well, and I just want you to be aware that there is a new festival unit that is coming after Merlin. And considering the fact that Global's intention is to catch up to JP as quickly as possible, word is by June, you can expect that by the end of the Merlin banner, this Zeldris will be on Global. So more than likely what's going to happen here is the Merlin banner is going to run for 4 weeks. Partway through that, we're going to get the ReZero collab for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to get the ReZero collab. And then 2 weeks from then, when the Merlin banner ends, this Zeldris will be on Global. So back to back to back to back to back to back to back festival units. Keep in mind, when it comes to festival units, these banners are 900 gems. Okay? So if you love Merlin, but you love Zeldris even more, you might want to skip her, even though she's a very strong unit that is whale friendly and free to play friendly at the exact same time. And I say that with all seriousness because with Merlin, even if you go second, most cases she's not going to die because you need to hit her with 3 big attacks to kill her off. So she's very free to play friendly in that regard, where you go second and you can still have fun with your unit. You can lifesteal back and you can still do good damage. But Zeldris might basically deter you from summoning for her. Don't know much of what she does yet, so we're gonna take a look at the ultimate move here for him and Chandler, and then we're gonna take a look at their skills, their commandments, and all that good stuff. And you guys let me know in the comments what you think about Zeldris and Chandler, because Chandler is coming as well, and this is going to boost Assault Mode Melee. So for those of you guys who were thinking, yeah, Assault Mode Melee is kind of ass, he's not that good, you know, all those memes, his support system may actually be here. So let's take a look at the trailer, boys. Aminos Nebula. Okay. I wish we got to see a little bit more. But yo, check the drip, bro. That looks so sick. Oh my gosh, bro. That looks so sick. Alright, so let's see Chandler. Damn, bro. This man making it rain meteor. Okay. He looks exactly how he's supposed to look and how he looks in the anime. But man, the Zeldris look cool. So let's take a look at their skills and abilities now. Alright, so first things first, shout out to GC Database for coming through with the translations for Zeldris and Chandler. So right here, we have Demon King's Deputy, Executioner Zeldris, right? So obviously he's a demon, and his unique now is Scent of Death. Increases allies' basic stats by 2% for every debuff applied on enemies. So keep in mind that Assault Mode Melee, when you attack, you give him a buff and he lowers your defense. So Zeldris is gonna make Assault Mode Melee even more powerful, because when Assault Mode Melee applies those defense down buffs, or sorry, debuffs to you, then Zeldris is gonna increase all of the allies' basic stats by 2% up to 20%. That's actually pretty crazy. And on top of that, this Zeldris will work with every character in the game, because it doesn't say anything here about him needing to be on a team with just demons or just commandments or none of that, right? So there's no restriction to this unique based on the translations so far. Keep in mind though, when we get the official translations from global or the JP side, things may differ a little bit, but from what I'm seeing right here, this is a sick passive that will make it so that this new green Zeldris can work on any team. All right, so he does have a new commandment, and it's actually pretty interesting. So it says, if a critical strike occurs from skill use, how else would a critical strike occur? I guess if it was a counter, it wouldn't count. We'll see. Decreases crit rate and crit damage by 10%. Applies to both allies and enemies when entering battle. Excludes deathmatch, limits 3 times. So you can lower your enemy's crit chance and crit damage by 30%. That's actually really significant, because we're in a crit meta right now where the one Escanor, if he crits you, he does significantly more damage than if he didn't crit, right? However, this will apply to you as well. So you using Zeldris' commandment, this new Zeldris commandment, if you're using a crit-based team, which most teams right now are crit-based, you are going to be cooking your own damage. So just keep that in mind. However, Zeldris does have a pretty good skill set here to make up for the fact that if he lowers his crit chance and his crit damage, he's not going to do much damage based off crit. So, inflicts cut damage. We don't know if that's what it's going to be called on global, but it says inflicts cut damage equals to 500% of attack that does not cause critical strike on one enemy. So basically, this Zeldris is about not critting. You know how blue Zeldris is all about the crits, and when you crit, you do significantly more damage than when you don't crit. This Zeldris right here is basically designed to take advantage of his own commandment. So he weakens the enemy by lowering their crit chance and their crit damage, and by lowering his own crit chance, he will basically do more damage. 500% is no joke. But if he does crit, he will do significantly less damage. So I'm hoping that his crit chance is just natively low then, so that he never crits and he just does big damage. So second card here is a debuff card, and it says depletes 2 ultimate move gauge at the end of the enemy's turn. Okay, and disables ultimate moves for 2 turns. It doesn't say if this is to one person, so this could just be like a AoE, and you deplete 2 gauge from everyone and disable their ultimate moves. It kind of seems counterproductive, to be honest, because if you're already taking 2 gauge off them, they will not have their ultimate move anyway, right? So it just kind of seems like this second part of the text doesn't make sense to me, right? Because you can't take away 2 gauge from somebody and them still having their ultimate move, right? So what's the point of disabling their ultimate move for 2 turns? Unless they're going to be adding characters in the game that are immune to these effects that remove ultimate gauge, right? So we'll see. It's an interesting thing. It doesn't say the damage multiplier, so that's interesting. Does that mean this skill doesn't do damage? It's just a debuff card? That will kind of suck, I'm not gonna lie, because if you get in a one-on-one situation and then the game just keeps giving you this card, you're pretty much destined to lose because you just keep applying this debuff and not doing any damage. Anyways, inflicts damage equal to 560% of attack on one enemy, decreases HP related stats of all enemies by 5% for 2 turns, and at max it's 945, and it decreases everyone's HP related stats by 15%. So basically you ult with Zeldris to make sure that when melee ults, everybody dies. Okay, so this Zeldris is definitely a support for assault mode melee. All right, let's move down here, and we have Chandler, the magician. Okay, we have the pacifier fiend. Okay, demon, and then his unique is called darkness. Decreases all stats of enemies who uses a skill by 7% for 1 turn. Applies when entering battle, applies before the skill is activated, and it is repeatable. Okay, Chandler is again looking like he's a support for Assault Mode Melee, because if you're gonna decrease all of people's stats by 7% every time they attack, they're not gonna be doing that much damage. And it's not just like you're reducing their attack, it's all of their stats. That's crazy. Okay, so he doesn't have a commandment, obviously. Inflicts damage equals to 400% of attack on one enemy. Restricts all skill effects, including ultimate move. So this is basically Valenti's. Dragon Claw is Valenti's first card. They gave it to Chandler. So yeah, I was wondering how long this skill was gonna be exclusive, but it looks like not that long. Chandler has the same skill as MK2 Valenti. Now, full counter. The master of the full counter has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Assumes a stance for 2 turns, which taunts enemies and inflicts damage equal to 300% of attack when taking damage or taking attacks. Inflicts an additional 100% of the damage taken. So this is an even better counter than Estarossa. This is actually pretty crazy, boys. Okay, ultimate move. Inflicts charge damage equal to 455% of attack on all enemies. Chandler looks like a really good support system. So you have a taunt unit that can protect your melee, and he's gonna be kind of like Estarossa, but even stronger on the counter. And then he's gonna have this card like MK2 Valenti that can basically disable all skill effects. And then he lowers people's, yeah, bro. He doesn't have an undead passive like Melascula, but he has a taunt very similar to Droll. And unlike Droll, if he doesn't have really high resistance, you're not going to be able to just cut through him with Merlin. So we're going to need to see this man's substats at some point. But I don't believe GC database has that up yet. So far, these units are looking really, really good. And they could very well be the support system that Assault Mode Melee was lacking. We will have to see in a month when they come to global, or in a couple days when this comes to JP. I believe this drops on Thursday, which is tomorrow after this. Okay, as for the banner, this is what the banner is gonna look like. So we're gonna have Zeldris, Fest Limited, and then we're gonna have Chandler, who I'm assuming is gonna come back on future banners. We'll see, because it doesn't say Fest Limited. And then Assault Mode Melee will be back, and these are gonna be the rate up units. They're actually lowering the SSR rate for the other units that are on the banner, which is good and bad. Meaning if you summon and you just get shafted, you're actually going to have a lower rate of pulling SSRs. But when you do get an SSR, you have a higher rate of it being one of the ones you want, right? Unlike on global right now, where I believe the trash that they put on the banner to kind of flush it out, I guess, is at 2% or 0.2%. They lowered it. I don't think I agree with this. I think they should just buff this. Instead of lowering this, they should have just buffed this to like 3.5. These guys, bruh. Anyway, so they have Nanashi on here. They have green list that you use for what you call it, for Grey Demon. Then you have the new Arthur, you have Ludociel, you have old Zeldris, then you have Fraudrin, you have Derry, you have Estarossa, Glocks, Droll, Galan, Melascula, Monspeed, Red Escanor, Merlin, regular Merlin. You have Red Gother here, and you have King, Bond. Yeah, so pretty much nothing that people care about besides, I guess, Ludociel. But like with Super Awakening 5, he kind of drops off, and his whole use just is not the same anymore, right? So we'll see, man. Overall, good luck to you guys if you're summoning for Merlin. Hopefully you get Merlin early and cut out and save your gems, because it looks like it's gonna be back to back fest units for the foreseeable future. These guys on JP are not taking a break. which means global is gonna get no breaks. Sad life, boys. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. I'm gone. Peace.